Alright, I am back. I've been gone for a couple of years. I had some things happen. Somebody broke into my house, stole all my YouTube gear, trashed my guitars, and I just haven't been back. I had to rebuild my collection of gear and just get back into the swing of things. But wanted to come back on here because I finally got motivated and inspired to come do another guitar video. So one of my most popular one of the videos I did years ago that actually took off, kind of was popular, was a pawn shop rebuild where I found a cheap Behringer guitar. I stripped the paint, rebuilt it, put all new hardware and everything on it, and I spent about 30 bucks on the guitar, pretty cheap, and rebuilt it into something that's pretty nice, pretty playable, and looks cool. So I thought, why not try to do that again? So I went to a pawn shop and I found a guitar for about 20 bucks. An electric guitar for 20 bucks. And I'm going to rebuild that and turn it into something nice. Now this is a First Act 222. Now I know a lot of people kind of trash First Act guitars, talk trash about them, hate on them, but you know what? For a beginner product, it's a full-scale guitar. It's perfect to learn on. You know, they're cheap, and they're made out of actual wood and materials and real strings. They're perfect to learn on. I don't know why the brand gets so much hate like they do, because I've seen so many other gimmick products out there for beginners that are actually detrimental to learning how to play guitar, and those things sell for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But these are incredibly cheap, and they're real guitars. So what's wrong with learning on one? If it's your first guitar, you want something you can beat up and treat like shit, what's wrong with the First Act? That being said, as far as guitars go, it's on the low end. It's not the best quality. I mean, I'm looking at this neck. This looks like a two-piece neck. Maybe? It looks like there's two different colors of maple. Like, I don't know if you can see this ridge right there. I don't think that's a ring from the tree. That looks to me like it's two pieces of maple glued together, which, especially close to the headstock like that, that's not a good thing. I don't know why they couldn't just do a solid piece. The body is probably made of like 3 or 4 pieces of wood put together. It's probably not a solid chunk, but all the hardware is there except for the knobs. The strap pins are kind of crazy. The strap doesn't want to come off, so I thought maybe it had strap locks on it there for a second. This one's a little loose, probably from somebody trying to get it off. A couple broken strings, but the bridge is intact. Pickup's there. The knobs are missing, but the pots seem to be decent shape. They're a little smashed together. So basically, I mean, there's some damage to the body, the paint, everything, but overall, it's in decent shape for what it is. It's got those encased tuners like that. A lot of people don't like them. Some damage. It looks like it's been burned. Like somebody tried to engrave their name or their initials, LF or something, into it. It's been burned. So I'm gonna strip all that paint off, replace the hardware and stuff. Let's check out and see if it works at all. Test the electronics here. Okay, the knobs work. So the electronics work. I'm going to go ahead and replace the pickup and the bridge and the tuners just because I don't like the style of tuners. And put some new knobs on it. I'm going to strip the paint, repaint it and all that. So it works. Yeah. That's the jack is loose. I might have to replace that. Alright, so I'm going to replace all the hardware on it, get a new pickup on it, new bridge, new tuners. The pots I think I can reuse. Probably going to repaint the pick guard because I don't think I'm going to be able to find a replacement pick guard for that unless I make one, but I don't want to make one. Basically, this was a $20 First Act guitar, so I'm not going to spend a ton of money trying to restore it and make it into a nice, decent guitar. And since I'm not going to spend a ton of money, my favorite brand for hardware and electronics for doing that stuff is Wilkinson. I've got a Wilkinson bridge, got a Wilkinson humbucker, got some Wilkinson tuners, and Ernie Ball super slinky strings, just because those were the cheapest ones I could find at the moment. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing disassembled and sanded down, and we'll start working on that paint. Alright, now I'm going to have this link down in the description on Amazon. This is probably the best toolkit you can get for working on small things or small electronics and stuff. It's an Oria. It's got every bit you need. Let's see here. Okay, so I keep losing my wire cutters. I have a couple pairs of them. But another thing that's useful is a string winder. Yeah, there's chunks of jagged metal sticking out of that jack plate. That is dangerous. I don't know if that's done by design, like they intended it to be like that, to catch that nut, to tighten it down on there, but no, that is like, I'm not going to be able to unscrew this by finger like normal. Get the jack wire out of there. Yeah, but it's a basic setup, tone, volume, output, one pickup. Yeah, that is insane. Like, this is crazy. I don't know who did that or whose idea that was. So another quality control issue I just found is the shaft on the pots were too long for this guitar, so they just stacked a bunch of washers on it and ran it through like that. It looks like the other one's going to be the same way. I think the pick guard, I'm going to kind of give it like a relic look. Just sand it down to get all this stuff off. I don't feel like polishing it up. Somebody covered the sticker, the first act sticker, with another sticker, which is kind of funny. Like, they're trying to hide the fact that it's a first act, but there's no hiding it with the shape of this pick guard. But yeah, I'm going to polish this down. I'm going to sand it down and see if I can smooth it out. Actually, the sanding is kind of whitening it up a little bit pretty nicely. Cool. That'll be fine to paint over. Alright, so I got it mostly smoothed out. Some of this isn't really going to smooth out, but I'm going to cover it up with some primer right now and start thinking about the paint scheme. I think the colors I have, I'm going to go with a flat black. I'm just going to primer the whole thing black and then do like a sunburst with a copper color in the middle. And this white pick guard cleaned up nicely. So I'm actually going to do a white primer on the headstock and the top of the body, and the black primer for the rest of it, and then a copper. Alright, got it all taped up. I'm doing the same thing to the body as I am to the headstock. White base coat primer, and then black on the sides and bottom, and then copper. I've got a hammered finish copper on it. You can really see it in the corners there. But actually most of that's going to get covered up. That's not the primary color. The primary color is going to be black. And it's going to, since I painted the copper first, I'm going to do black along the edges. That way it gives it kind of a sunburst style pattern. My headstock here is going to be kind of my test subject. You can see some more of the hammering down towards the bottom than up the top, but I'm going to go ahead and add the black to it now. Let's shake this up for a minute. I kind of messed up and covered up most of the copper, but honestly, that's alright. It's going to look better on the body. Alright, let's see here. Just going to paint the sides. Oh, it's cracking through. Honestly, I kind of knew that was going to happen, but the copper color is cracking through the black. You can see the copper color is cracking through the primer. That's what happens when you don't let it dry 100% before putting on the new coat. Although I've never seen this happen with a primer. It usually happens with a clear coat or something. So, but I'm gonna let that dry for a little bit and maybe hit another coat of the primer same way, or just leave it like that. Yeah, I mean, it's actually kind of cool, giving it a little bit of a relic look. I might just flip it over and paint the bottom. I was able to find a couple of knobs that are a cream color, and they match the cream pickup with the cream hardware, or pickup rings. Now I got the Wilkinson bridge. Got the ground wire, already ran through it, so Wilkinson is a low-end brand, but they do make some solid products. There you go. Now I just need to finish up the electronics, get some strings on it. It sounds really good with the tone all the way up. So I can't play worth a damn, so my contribution to music is creating the instruments. Yeah, I think this one came out pretty good. I think it's worth at least double what I paid now. I really like the pickup I put in it, the humbucker. Can turn that off real quick. Okay, so I did learn a couple of things about First Act. First of all, the ones that have humbuckers in them, they're not actually humbuckers. They're just single coil pickups that are made to look like humbuckers. So I had to wire this one in a little bit differently. But it ended up working out pretty well. It sounds good. What else did I learn? A lot of people out there talk trash about Chinese parts, but the jack plate that came on this thing makes Chinese parts look like OEM Gibson parts. That jack plate, I've never seen anything so crappy in my life. And I use a lot of crappy stuff. I do everything on a budget. I think I showed you the jagged metal sticking out to the inside. It's like they just punched a hole to put the jack into it instead of, cutting it and forming it the way they should have. Pots, the potentiometers, the shafts on them were too long, so they just stacked a bunch of washers on them to make them fit down in there. I mean, this thing was made like somebody put it together in their backyard. But I think I fixed it up, so it's playable now. It's pretty good. I like it. Honestly, out of all the guitars I have right now, this is probably one of only two that are actually in playable condition right now. I just need to make sure the paint completely dries. Like it's dry, but it hasn't cured for that long. This was a one-day build. Started in the morning, the sun just went down, and it's completed. So I've got some wax and stuff like that. I'm gonna wax it up real good, give it a finish. I know it's been a long time since I posted anything, but thanks for watching. Thanks for coming back. See you next time. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that.